Another one. Another one. Touchdown, Jags! Ball game!
Another Jags podcast.
Welcome to another Jags podcast, episode 75.
Can you name a Jags player that wore 75?
75, let me see here. I can't. Can you?
Eugene Monroe?
Eugene Monroe, that's a good
I'm
one.
not sure if he did, actually.
I think he
Just
did.
guessing.
Oh, I don't know.
Okay.
But I'm here with Mike tonight. Mike, how's it going?
What's up, boys?
You guys may remember Mike from our live draft episode, Engine 15, which we had a great time there. But if you have not yet followed us on Instagram, we are on Instagram and Facebook at Another Jags Pod. And my personal favorite, Twitter, Another Jags Pod. Also, YouTube.
You guys love the YouTube.
We do love. We've gotten YouTube more lately.
You do well, though. You do well.
We've gotten more into YouTube lately because people can comment like live as we're talking, and people can tell us like fill us in with stuff that we don't know and things like that. We're here. Episode 75 is technically going to be a tight end breakdown, but before we get to that, we do want to talk about the breaking news happening right now, which is the Jaguars All-25 team.
Yep.
And if you don't know, that's been going on lately. And on our last show, we ended around 20, I think David Garrard, 23.
Okay.
Since then, we've had 22 Gary Walker, 21 Josh Scobie.
Which is a little low for Scobie.
When you mean low, you mean like two?
I think that's too. I think you can make a case that he could be higher.
Scobie?
Scobie, absolutely. I feel like he's one of like the.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
I agree with that. 20 Aaron Beasley. Beast.
Yeah.
19 Mike Peterson. That might be a little high for Mike Peterson.
Is it weird having a Colt on that list?
You mean a Gator?
I don't care about the Gator part. I wonder about the Colt part.
No, I mean he's a Gator for sure.
Oh, God.
And then 18, we're looking at Vincent Manawai.
Not bad.
Not bad.
Beast.
Then 17, there's been so much.
Jaguars have him listed as Cal Brady linebacker. I just noticed that on their website.
Their website is wrong.
Yeah.
He was not a linebacker. He was a basketball player.
Yeah. Penn State boy. Those are always blue collar, physical.
Yeah, exactly. But I would be remiss not to talk about how the Jags fans are like upset about Kyle Brady being at 17.
I never really liked Kyle Brady, honestly, as a Jags fan.
I disagree.
I don't know why. I can never really
liked
stand
Kyle
him.
Brady. Kyle Brady is one of the first tight ends that could block and catch.
I don't know what it is about
Like, I
him.
understand there's Tony Gonzalez. I understand Kellen Winslow. But Kyle Brady was just different than those guys.
And I've learned through the years he actually apparently like really loves Jacksonville. I think he still might live here.
He absolutely
Yeah,
still
so-
lives here. He coaches
I don't know
here.
what it is. I've never really liked Kyle Brady. I don't know what it is from him getting booed by the Jets when he got drafted. I don't know what it was. Him going to the Patriots.
Him retiring a year before the Patriots won the Super Bowl.
He was a beast though. He had by
absolutely
far
was
the
a
best
beast.
year for a tight end the
Dude,
Jaguars have ever had.
The guy went on to go to law school and graduate law school after the NFL.
Wow,
How often do you see that?
that's awesome.
I mean, I know it's like personal life, but whatever. I'm with
Not a
it.
bad little career he's made.
Yeah.
up
Oh
for
no,
himself.
no. I like Kyle Brady. I like him at 17. 16, Donovan Darius.
Is that low for Donovan?
I think so. Yeah. Darius was a beast.
I will never forget him taking out. Who was it? It was Robert Ferguson. He almost killed. Good God.
That's
with him.
throwback.
Yeah. Beast
But
though.
we go back. Like, how do you even rank these guys?
It's hard. I mean, it's
Like,
just,
it's so hard.
how do you not rank the earlier guys?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and then 15 is Kyle Brady.
Kyle Hardy. Kevin Hardy, right?
Kevin Hardy.
We were close on that one.
Kevin Hardy. Yeah. We try not to get too wrapped up in this conversation because
Sorry.
they're going to come out and we're going to be able to talk about them.
Yeah.
This is the tight end breakdown podcast.
Okay.
And we've broken down every offensive position. This is our last offensive position. We've talked about offensive line. We've talked about running back. We've talked about running back.
Is this the roughest position?
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah, it is.
That room.
So let's just start right off the bat. And let's just talk about who we have. And then I want to talk about, I want to go into who's going to do what. But I just want to talk about who we have on the roster. This is in no particular order, 1 through 5. This is just who we have on the roster. James O'Shaughnessy,
Oof.
in his 5th year out of Illinois State. He was a 5th-round pick. He's 6'4", 225. Josh Oliver, newly drafted tight end out of San Jose State. He was drafted just this last year in the 3rd round and has obviously no NFL experience.
Mm-hmm.
Ben Koyak, 6'5", 258. He's in his 4th year. He was drafted in the 7th round.
Game-winning touchdown versus the Bills.
You may remember his game-winning touchdown against the Bills, the only touchdown we scored in that game. Jeff Swaim, drafted out of Texas. He's in his 4th year. He was also drafted in the 7th round. He was just signed as a free agent after spending his first 3 years with the Cowboys. Charles Jones, 6'4", 255, undrafted free agent out of Tulane. Played in 40 games with Tulane, 40 receptions, 5 touchdowns. Decent little career in Tulane. And last, Michael Kolubiale.
Wow.
And he's out of UCF. He's 6'1", 223, played in 38 career games, and as a senior appeared in 13 games with 7 starts and caught 21 passes and 3 touchdowns.
Okay.
So that's who's on the roster. Okay.
Looks promising.
It is a star-studded line of tight ends. So tell me right off the rip, out of those guys I just mentioned, who, given everything, given the new offensive coordinator, given the new quarterback, given injury-free, who's going to be the most influential player out of those guys?
Injury-free?
Yes.
Well, unfortunately, the game does not work that way. If Swaim could stay healthy, 16 games, look at it. We've talked about it. Of all tight ends that were targeted 25 times or more, he had the highest receiving grade. But his knock is that he cannot stay healthy. I think Swaim, young, big, can block. If he could stay healthy, definitely him.
When you say he's young, he's the same age as Ben Koyak.
26, 27? That's pretty young.
I agree. I agree. So you're saying Jeff Swaim?
Yeah. If Oliver wasn't a rookie, dude, it's so hard for a rookie tight end to come in and contribute.
I agree. I mean, Swaim only played in 7 games, though, last season. That's
why we said the health factor. If you take that away, oof.
All right, so here's something that's funny to consider is he only played in 7 games last season. James O'Shaughnessy, a bit more healthy than Swaim.
Yeah.
Snap totals, O'Shaughnessy's 385, Jeff Swaim 349.
Yeah, and O'Shaughnessy was cut a few times as well.
No, you're thinking of Koyak.
Okay.
O'Shaughnessy stayed on the team a decent amount of times.
Excuse me.
So Jeff Swaim, even though only played 7 weeks, saw about the same volume of snaps that O'Shaughnessy did. He did get injured later in the year.
I think O'Shaughnessy's a good player, though. He's got good after the catch ability. He's quick. Can decently block. I don't think he's a bad player.
So let's talk about Swaim a little bit because you brought him up.
Yeah. We both watched a lot of him.
We looked into a lot of film of Jeff Swaim.
Yeah.
He is traditionally a blocking tight end.
Yeah.
His overall grade per PFF is a 56.6. That doesn't really jump off the page to you as impressive, does it?
No.
His run blocking grade was a 57.9. Not great. Pass catching grade, 57.5. Here's the stat that stands out about Swaim, though. His reception percentage. So catches when targeted, 86.7%.
Which is the highest of?
The highest of all of
targeted at least 30 times.
And for me, my first thought was like, all right, so this guy probably had a lot of checkdowns, a lot of screens. And he did.
He did.
However, his yards per reception was almost 10, whereas O'Shaughnessy's was at 5. And I understand the offenses were different. I get that.
Offensive line, quarterbacks.
Right.
Yeah.
I get that. Swaim had more yards, way more yards per reception. He had more touchdowns, less drops in 7 games. Like you said, the injury concerns are there.
Yeah.
But how do you think Swaim adjusts to a quarterback like Foles versus a quarterback like Dak Prescott?
Even I'm not a huge Cowboy fan. I hate them. Going back to Dak's...
that progressed quickly.
I'm
not a huge Cowboys fan.
And I do hate them.
I hate them.
Sorry. I cannot stand them.
All right, go ahead.
But I'll be rational about this. I've heard since Dak's rookie year that he's not targeted. What's his name coming back? Horrible Monday Night Football. Jason Witten.
Yeah.
Yeah. So...
You thought it was horrible?
At Monday Night Football, what I saw, he was not very good. But as a tight end, he was very good. But Dez, he never targeted, and I believe the tight end he was never big into. So Foles loves his tight ends.
He does. But it was Ertz.
Yeah.
Like, did he use his tight ends when he was at Kansas City?
Yeah. Even before that. I know Brent Selleck was still a really good tight end, and he was a pro.
That's true.
Yeah. So he's always been to his tight ends.
All right. Jeff Swaim's best game was week 6 at Houston, where he had a 68.2 grade. Never really had a good game.
No.
He just consistently was okay.
Yeah.
So I don't know how you feel about a guy that plays like that, but that's who he is. So then we've been talking about James O'Shaughnessy a lot. Man, I had a mini voice crack
Ooh,
there.
wow.
Man.
My first time
I remember
in puberty.
James O'Shaughnessy, 385 snaps.
How many yards? 200?
214.
Ooh.
Yeah. The yards per reception.
We had by far the worst tight end group in the NFL, right?
I'm hesitant to say that because there's like some teams that have really good tight ends, but there's teams that like you can't even name their tight ends. Like who's Seattle's tight ends right now?
Luke Wilson is. I don't even know. I think he's in
Probably
Detroit.
not.
He's in
Yeah, that's
Detroit
what I'm
now.
saying.
I'm not even
Who's
sure.
like you know even the Rams, Gerald Everett. I mean, how much?
They had Pharaoh or no, what is
Pharaoh
his name?
Cooper, not Pharaoh Cooper, and he's a
then they have
receiver.
Higbee, right?
That's what I'm saying. Like, there's not
Yeah.
that many like solid tight end squads out there outside of the Eagles, the 49ers, and
Yeah.
the Chiefs. If you want to count OJ Howard, I'll give you that. If you want to count,
OJ Howard's really good.
if you want to
There's some young
count
guns.
Hunter Henry,
is pretty good.
Joku, yeah, but I mean, I guess. But O'Shaughnessy, 385 inline snaps, so lined up as a blocking tight end on the line. 105 snaps out in the slot. Interesting. 12 snaps in the backfield as a fullback.
Wow.
Do you think we'll see any of that with DeFilippo and Foles?
DeFilippo, he likes to mix it up. It honestly wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, I mean, that would be.
See Josh Oliver lining up in the backfield, getting some Urban Meyer.
A little Urban Meyer action.
A little, what do they used to call that? A little pitch in? I forgot what they called that.
A little shovel.
A little shuffle
pitch.
pass.
Shovel pass.
Yeah.
Okay, so his overall grade was a 60.3, which is, almost 4 points better than Swaim's entire last season. And here's why. James O'Shaughnessy, by a mile, grades out by far the best of run blocking tight end on our team.
Mm-hmm.
Jeff Swaim gets the reputation as the run blocking tight end because that's what he did. But if we look at the grades, James O'Shaughnessy, 78.2 run blocking grade.
Yeah. If you're playing for the Jaguars, you have to block.
That's a good run blocking grade.
Yeah.
And you would think a guy like Swaim, who was blocking behind Ezekiel Elliott and Dak Prescott, would have the ability to get his grade higher because of the big plays that happened. But in reality, O'Shaughnessy graded out way better. My mic just dropped there for a second. His pass catching grade was about the same as Swaim's. His best game was Week 10 at Indy, where his PFF grade was 90. And he had 5 catches in that game. I mean,
pretty good grade. One of the highest grade games of all Jaguars this season.
No, I mean that was a good game, and he really showed out. He showed a glimpse in Week 10 of what people think and hope he can be. 35 targets, 24 receptions. His reception percentage was a little bit lower than Swaim's. He was at 68.6. His yards per reception was a really bad 5 yards.
Mm-hmm.
So
not ideal.
He had 1 drop.
But he did not have a lot of time or a very good quarterback.
Yeah, that's true. Or a good game plan or a team that could win or any of that.
5 yards. Jeez.
Here's what I like about...
1 drop on this season for...
Yeah, that's not bad.
Yeah, not bad
1
at all.
drop. But I mean... here's what I like. Underneath 10 yards, he's like solid.
Yeah.
But you'd kind of expect that out of a tight end. Here's what I don't like. Between 10 and 20 yards, he was 1 for 6 with 2 interceptions.
You had to attribute that to the quarterback.
That's what I was going to ask
for sure.
you. How much of that's on Bortles?
Up 95% probably.
Yeah.
And I know we like to pin the problems on Bortles.
I know, man.
But-
It's sad. I mean, no one played well behind that line.
No one.
No one.
Look how much the receivers regressed this season.
I mean, all of them.
Yeah.
Look how much the
Keelan,
running backs.
I know. I mean, it's a one-year wonder. Happens all the time. But Keelan Cole looked like he didn't know how to play football at times last year.
It more looked like his hands didn't work.
Yeah.
I mean, he had particular grabs where he made one-handed catches. Week 2, was it 3 against the Patriots?
Week 2
against the Patriots.
Yeah.
I'm a believer in Keelan Cole. I've talked about that. I think he'll have a bounce back year this year. But you're right. Everyone regressed.
Yeah.
Everyone regressed this year.
And injuries were a part of that as well.
Yeah, I agree. But as far as, okay, so out of Swaim and O'Shaughnessy, you said all things considered healthy Swaim, but let's say not all things considered. Let's say all things considered what you know now. Who has a greater impact on this year?
Ooh. That 5-yard average is so poor.
But you even talked about how you attribute a lot of that to the offense and the
yeah.
quarterback and the offensive line.
Something about Swaim. He looked. I mean, when he was healthy, he looked really good last year.
So you watched, you broke down on your Twitter every snap Swaim was really involved in. So what stood out to you in that film breakdown?
Sure hands. If it was in his general area, he seemed to catch it. For what it's worth, I also thought Jesse James looked pretty good, and I was okay with him. But solid blocker, good hands. If it was in his area, he seemed to catch it. But O'Shaughnessy, I really do like him after the catch. He's done some plays. He's slippery. They're both. They're actually not a bad tandem. That's probably the homer in me. I really feel like that's not a bad 1-2. Those out there, and we don't have a fullback this year. That's gonna be interesting to see where they play.
So backfield snaps last year, 12 for O'Shaughnessy, 6 for Swaim. If we project Swaim playing the whole season, we could say maybe he's at 12 too.
Yeah.
Ben Koyak 2. No one else. The rest are undrafted.
Oliver's going to play. It's so hard to produce, though.
Before we get into Oliver, and I want to get into Oliver, we have to take a break.
Okay.
So we're going to take a quick commercial break here, and then we're going to dive into probably the most intriguing tight end on the roster, and Josh Oliver. So if you haven't yet followed us on Twitter, do it right now. Another Jags Pod, Facebook, Instagram, Another Jags Podcast, YouTube, Another Jags Podcast, and make sure to listen to these ads and support them because it makes us look good. Maybe.
Apparently, they're fantastic, and they all work very well.
They are, man. If it's
look at Jason's hair, it's more volume to it. Hairline doesn't look as whack. He looks fantastic.
I just got a haircut actually, so appreciate you.
What was the haircut place? I don't know if we can.
We don't give free publicity on the podcast.
It was sports.
But it was haircuttery.
You got a free.
It was haircuttery.
Go
see Kelly at haircuttery. She's the greatest. All right, we're gonna take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back on our live channel and on the podcast. We'll be right back after these ads. All right, so we're back. We are on live on YouTube, and we forgot to mention our sponsors, SB Nation, Big Cat Country, Overtime Network Podcast. We apologize on that. We forget sometimes, but we're live on YouTube.
Forgetful people.
We're live on YouTube. So you can watch our show live of us sitting here talking, or you can listen to us on our podcast, which we'll put out the next day. We don't make as much money when you watch our YouTube channel, but we are not here for the money. So we would rather you watch our YouTube channel. But make sure you subscribe so at least we know. And we have some YouTube questions that we want to jump into before we talk about Josh Oliver.
Okay.
The first one's from Zach Jones. He says, no words on Jan yet. Is there really a chance we don't keep this guy? I'll let you answer first.
Host goes first. Sorry.
Host goes first. That's me. All right. I have been bombarded on Twitter with negativity because people think I am against us re-signing Yannick Ngakoue. I am not against us re-signing Yannick Ngakoue. I just think he was really hurt by the drafting of Josh Allen. And yeah, because I like Yannick Ngakoue, and I understand that he is a generational defensive end talent. But I don't think he's worth to be the highest paid D end in the league.
Is he? I mean, would he be necessarily?
I think he would, and I think that's what he like. Tell me.
I haven't heard him ask that,
and
I haven't heard that.
Here's my issue with him is that I just don't think he's good against the run. And again, like you're like, okay, he's not a run stopping D end. That is totally fair. I get that. But our team was near the bottom of the league in run defense last year.
It was.
We gave up almost more yards than anybody. We gave up almost more touchdowns on the ground.
And you can contribute that to Malik Jackson. Telvin Smith didn't play well last year.
But on the same
Avery
token,
Jones had a down year against the run.
At the same token, Calais Campbell had an amazing year. Miles Jack played great against the run. So you can go on both sides of the coin there. So I love Ngakoue. I want him to re-sign, and I want to get him at no matter what the cost. But I think Jags fans are a little over the top on how good they think they are.
Oh, they are.
What do you think?
I think he's had almost 30 sacks in 3 years. More than Joey Bosa. More than Frank Clark has had. More. Who else just got paid? D Ford. More than D Ford has gotten paid. We're the Jaguars. We just looked that top 25 list we were just talking about. How many players were drafted? What was your question? About.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
None of them are recent. Yeah.
And Yannick is. That's why you pay him. So, I mean, I feel like it's a pretty easy question. Why not pay him?
Does Josh Allen hurt his chances at getting the money?
No. Calais Campbell's 32, 33. They can both play.
But they can't.
They can't. They can each change their scheme. They've already.
Can't.
The only reason they have a big in right now is because Calais Campbell is that good. I don't think if they didn't have Calais Campbell, they went after Olivier Vernier. Is he a great run defender? He's pretty good.
They went after him.
They offered him a lot of money.
But my question is, how are they going to stop the run if Ngakoue and Allen are on the field? Josh Allen, he's small. He can't take on a double
he's
team.
6'4", 260.
What's Campbell?
Campbell's one of the biggest freaks of all time.
But have you seen anything on film that shows you that Josh Allen can take on a double team, defeat it, and stop the run?
Who was that defensive end before? I mean, I guess
Campbell. Red Bryant. Not even Red Bryant. We were never good before Campbell. We couldn't stop the run. We had Puzzlesny that could fill the gap.
We always had good run. We had
Puzzlesny. We had guys like that. It's just, I get concerned when teams intentionally run the ball down our throats.
I think if we didn't have Calais Campbell right now, I don't think our scheme would be anything close to what it is
What
right
did
now.
the Patriots do to the Rams in the Super Bowl?
Short, quick stuff. And
they ran the ball down their throats.
They don't have any. They don't have the players close to us. Though.
What did the teams do against us?
One team,
all
the Titans.
Season. The Titans. We're near the bottom of the list.
Where do you see that?
Look up run defense grades. We are near the bottom of yards allowed, touchdowns allowed,
PFF.
yards per attempt, all of that stuff.
Okay, well, I mean, since we got Marcel Darius, we've been in like the top 15, top 20.
I don't know, man. Our overall stats are not there for run defense. And in a passing league, when a team can line up against us and say we're going to run the ball,
and a lot of those times are
down your
it's when
throats.
you're already down. So I mean, that doesn't matter much.
If you're already down, it should be even easier to stop the run. Should it not be?
No. At that time, you're physically worn out. The game's over. I mean, I feel you.
Look, I love Ngakoue. I think Josh Allen may have hurt his chances at being re-signed.
I think his negotiation was slightly hindered, but I don't think you'd let him go. Dude, he's not a generational talent, but he's already made a Pro Bowl. I feel like he's an all-pro talent. You can't let that go.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll let you have the last word on that. For once.
Would you rather keep him or Miles Jack? I love both of them, but pass rusher is that.
Here's where I get hung up, though. If Josh Allen can fill the role of Yannick Ngakoue on a rookie deal, doesn't it behoove the Jags to keep Miles Jack instead?
Next year, Marcel Darius, $20 million off the board.
What if he restructures?
We already did that. You can't.
Okay. So he's not going to be here at all?
Marcel Darius is gone.
Okay.
Yeah.
Campbell can restructure.
He already did. He might be able to, but I think I've seen a lot of Jags fans say he's gone. I think he has the more likely of the two. But still, $20 million right there. I think that's enough space for Miles, Jack, and Yannick. So.
All right, we got to move on to these YouTube questions because they're stacking up on us. This next question is from Brent Papineau, and he says, after doing a deep analysis of all the offensive groups, how much more or less do you believe injuries affected our total team performance last year compared to other factors like Blake, defensive play, etc.?
Well, Blake imploding and our entire offense dying, it was horrible, horrible, horrible. It was just bad luck.
I'm going to connect the dots here. I'm going to say I've been not hesitant about saying injuries was our biggest concern last
Every
year.
position was ravaged. There's not one position.
No, I think Brent's on the same page as us, and I think this is where Brent's getting with his comment. And I could be wrong, but I think I know where he's going with this, and I'm with you, Brent. I think the injuries led to Blake being terrible, which led to the defense being terrible, which led to everything else.
Yeah, when you're not up and you can't pin your ears backwards and rush the passer like that, it completely changes the game. Turnovers were down because of it. There wasn't a single position that wasn't decimated by week 2. Marquise Lee out preseason. Cam Robinson out week 2. Leonard Fournette hamstring week 1.
Did you take Cam Robinson?
Yeah, week 2. So every single
Norwell
position,
was out week 10.
Later on, but still,
Yeah.
every single position was hit by week 1. Or week 2. It's crazy how it literally was. I might have jinxed this. We all did. Just stay healthy. That's all everybody kept saying, and it was the exact opposite. So yeah, it was pretty bad.
Yeah, no, I agree. People will hate on Blake a lot, and he made some bad throws.
It goes hand in hand, though. He's not a very good quarterback, obviously.
Would you put any quarterback behind Eric Flowers, Patrick Omame, Tyler Shatley, AJ Cann, and who was even playing a right tackle by the end of the year? Was it Parnell? Wow. I mean, I don't even know.
Mike Walker. I don't even know that's a player.
What quarterback? If you had drafted a franchise quarterback, would you put them behind that line?
I mean, there's some quarterbacks that have been behind that line. Andrew Luck prior to the season was behind something like that. Cam Newton's always had a pretty bad offensive line.
I don't know about that.
Phillip Rivers.
Because Cam Newton at one point had Andrew Norwell as a left guard, and who was the left tackle that went to the Cowboys? Went to the Texans. That was pretty good. I can't remember his name.
Good. Matt Khalil was not very good.
Yeah.
Their right tackles were good. Their right tackles are Derek was Williams, and then there's the other guy, Taylor Moton. We're both first team.
Here's what I worried about, and I saw this in Blake. I watched Blake his entire career.
He's not a natural thrower, even according to himself.
But here's what I saw out of Blake. Blake never showed that Blake Bortles never showed that Blaine Gabbert deer in the headlights fear until late in the season last year.
He stepped up
and he started to show that. And when you put a quarterback behind a terrible offensive line, they will get what I like to call the Blaine Gabbert yips, where when you drop back, you feel pressure that is not there. Yeah. And that comes from putting someone behind a line that can't block. And that's why coaches are hesitant.
How many different offensive coordinators did he have? It's just everything.
When you don't put them in any position to succeed, they get that sort of thing. And I saw that at Blake last year. And I've seen Blake throw bad, make bad decisions, do all sorts of things, but I never saw the Blaine Gabbert yips until late into the year last year. And that concerned me. Yeah. And I pray for Blake Bortles. All right, we have to move on.
It's amazing how bad his throwing motion's always been, though. Good God.
I mean, it wasn't as bad as like Byron Leftwich. All right, we got to move on to these questions. If you have questions, make sure to hit us on YouTube. We're going to hit all of them if we can. This next question is from Stephen Gray, and he says, he loves the show, lads, listening in from Ireland every morning heading to work. Thank you, Stephen. He says, this is the first live show he's watched. And what's your view on the London series, and is it a help or is it a hindrance?
Well, I've actually been trying to convince him to go to the London game. His words, I'm going on a cruise to Mexico. So you're the reason that we're going to lose the Jaguars. So just remember that.
All right, look.
How long have I been talking about going to the London game?
Look, His
girlfriend wants to go. I want to go.
I love
Mexico cruise.
I love the London game. They do a state of the franchise like thing where Caldwell and Coughlin come out and they talk about the finances and all that stuff. And the London game basically keeps us afloat. Yeah. It really does. We bring in so much revenue from London. We cannot be mad at playing a game in London.
10 days in Europe, you don't want to do that? Come on.
I personally can't afford the package they offer us to go to London. It is up into the $2,000 and $3,000. And maybe one day if we get more viewers,
season tickets,
but
sell them, Airbnb your house while you're gone. Couldn't be that bad. What's the worst that could happen while you're gone for 2 weeks?
We love it. It's actually nice to wake up early and watch a game. I don't mind it at all. Our podcast has
Bonefish this year for
our podcast has picked up so many UK fans, and it blows our minds. And so, thank you, Stephen, from listening from Ireland. We appreciate it. You are awesome. Thank you for listening. You said this is your first live show. That doesn't surprise me because this is like our second live show we've actually put work into.
I'm sorry you wasted it on me.
I went on vacation this summer and I was like, you know what? We should really put a little bit more effort than me just like reclining on the couch talking about the Jags. So we're getting there slowly. Thank you, Stephen.
Got a nice candle, Miles Jack candle.
This is a Miles Jack candle. We love it. It smells great. It's the Hawaiian scent.
Not the Maxwell coffee downtown.
But thank you for listening. We love the London game. It takes away a home game, but to be honest, we had 3 September home games here in Jacksonville, Florida, and all the games were heat indexed over 100 degrees. you honestly get a little tired of that heat after a second. So thanks for listening. This next question is from Daniel Pecora, and he says, who do you think emerges as Foles' top target between Conley and Pryor?
Ooh.
Weren't expecting those two, were you?
No, very random. The better, I guess Conley's not really fighting for the team. Pryor is. Conley, he's got a better.
Pryor's got a better chance of
Pryor's a freak. I'll give him that.
exploding, but
They
Conley
both
has a
are.
better chance of making the team.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a weird.
Conley's is going to be 2 years removed from Achilles. That's a huge deal. Last year, there was times he was known as a freak athlete. He did not look explosive. So it's good to see get another year to get healthy.
Yeah, I agree.
It's a nasty injury.
I like what I see out of Pryor, and I think his style of play lends more to the offense we're going to run. Conley couldn't really like stand out on an offense that put up yards and numbers, and that kind of concerns me. I get, he was playing behind all these people. That doesn't matter to me.
We watched every snap. Pat Mahomes is a lot of his stuff is off script, and a lot of the throws were kind of playground plays, I guess you could say.
And that tends to lend better to the
Does
guys.
it though? I feel like it's.
I think it does. Dude, you see guys like Adam Thielen who emerged from the depth chart like way down
they're
below.
not playing those playground plays though. Like those quarterbacks, they have an offense that's designed. Pat Mahomes, he's got an arm that he's back there all day. So I feel like that can hinder a receiver as
Maybe.
well.
But a guy with the attributes that Conley has, the size, the speed, the hands, that's a guy you think would emerge in that offense. Even with
they have
all the
so many weapons though.
Yeah.
Your boy
I
from
don't know.
Florida, DeMarcus Robinson, he's a young talented player. They have a lot of weapons.
And the bottom line is that Conley had 5 touchdown receptions, which equals our highest receivers touchdowns from last year.
It was 5. Was it?
It was Dede.
5? Okay.
And so I think to answer your question, Conley, but I love Pryor, and I'm really looking forward to some gimmicky plays.
Is there any way he explodes and Galen Cole doesn't make the team?
Yeah. We had a show, our receiver show with Joey. He said Keelan Cole's the odd man out.
One of them has to be.
Keelan Cole couldn't see the field at the end of the year last year.
He had the yips, bad quarterback.
The yips don't go away.
Yeah, they do. Receiver, I don't.
Ask your boy, who did Jordan give the yips to? Was it Muggsy Bogues or was it Spud Webb?
Oh, about the free throw?
Yeah.
Talk? Oh, God.
Yeah.
I think it was Spud Webb.
Spud Webb.
Couldn't
Yeah,
shoot a free
ask
throw.
Spud
Yeah, that's
Webb
crazy.
about the yips and if they go away.
Okay, I'll give you that.
Because, I don't know, man.
What was it? You can't make these free throws? Expletive? That's crazy.
I'm proud of you for censoring yourself.
Yeah.
It's been a challenge.
Imagine
for Mike.
that. Imagine Michael Jordan coming to your job. You're not going to, I can see it.
Imagine Michael Jordan calling you out on your job. You're right. That's a good point.
That's funny.
Yeah. But that's it. So, no, those are good questions. We appreciate those YouTube questions. We actually didn't put out a Twitter question thread because, quite honestly, I wasn't sure if we were going to do this episode tonight.
Very flaky Jason is, so whenever I can wrangle him up, I ask him all the time, podcast, let me on, please.
You guys know me. I'm super flaky.
Yeah.
But we appreciate your questions on YouTube. Make sure to keep it going. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed. As you can tell, we do random episodes on random nights. We try to do
We don't even know when it's going to happen.
We try to do Wednesdays. And during the season, we're going to do a lot of episodes for sure. And we're going to try to upgrade our backdrop here. But we'll do what we can. But we did tease Josh Oliver before our break. So we got to talk about Josh Oliver for a little bit.
Okay.
But before we do, we have to take one more break.
Oh, gosh. So late. It's almost.
I know. I hate being contractually obliged to some of these companies.
I hate that you make money off of these. What a jerk.
But to be fair, I invest all of it back into the podcast. I do not keep any of this money for myself.
Oh, I thought this was your gin money. But
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So we're going to take a quick break. Make sure to follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Another Jags Podcast. We're on Twitter, Another Jags Pod. We're on YouTube, which is kind of like where we're going now. Watch our YouTube channels. And I'm just going to tell you right now, like, we don't care about monetizing off of our podcast views. We are what we are. We're here for the fans. We want to read what you guys write. We want to talk about what you guys want to talk about. So hit us up on YouTube and we'll get that out there. We're going to take a quick break, use the bathroom. We're going to throw some ads in, and we'll be right back. All right, and we're back. Another Jags podcast, episode 75. We're talking tight ends. We have a question on YouTube, but before we get to that, because it's going to get us very derailed from tight ends, we've been teasing Josh Oliver. We have got to talk about Josh Oliver at some point in this podcast. For the sole fact, if Josh Oliver listens to this podcast, we have to talk about him for a little bit. Because I'm a huge fan. So I want to at least talk about him a little bit. I am a huge fan.
Really? When was the first time you heard about him?
The day we drafted him. How about you?
The day we drafted him.
Yeah, exactly. All right. But
actually, I might have been a couple mock drafts.
Oh, yeah. You a big San Jose Minutemen fan?
Minutemen?
What are they?
Spartans.
Spartan fan.
All
right. So let me tell you a little bit about Josh Oliver. Josh Oliver, 6'5", 250.
Yep.
Played in 49 games. He started 36 of them at San Jose State.
Not bad.
He totaled 98 receptions for 1,067 yards. As a senior in 2018, he earned first team All-Mountain West and recorded 56 catches for 709 yards and 4 touchdowns.
Not bad. That would be like a Jag record.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
His receiving yards of 709 were 5th nationally among FBS tight ends and 2nd in San Jose State records.
Yep.
So, what are you expecting out of Josh Oliver
this season or overall?
This season?
Ooh. Not much.
Not much.
So hopefully solid hands. I hope he shows this explosiveness that he did in the combine, but not a lot though. It's really hard for a rookie to come in and contribute as a tight end.
So you said solid hands.
I just don't want him to...
which is comical to me because in watching his film...
I don't want to be butter hands. I just want to see... I don't want him to come in and completely just be bad.
In breaking down his film, his biggest strength was his hands. Like, this dude catches everything.
Yeah.
Like, in traffic, behind him, in front of him, too high, too low. Like, I use the term strong hands in evaluating receivers all the time.
Big hands, Blackman.
Justin Blackman was one of the strongest handed receivers I have ever seen in my entire life.
Should have been in the Hall of Fame.
Like Randy Moss-esque. Josh Oliver, his hands are strong. This dude catches everything, man.
His family has, what was his dad, an NFL player, or then his uncle was like an MLB player, so he's got the skill or the talent.
I'm telling you, this guy is gonna be. Think of like a better Ernest Wilford, and not Ernest Wilford early in his career, like Ernest Wilford late in his career when he transitioned to tight end. That's what Oliver's gonna be. Like, this guy is gonna line up in the slot. He's gonna line up out wide, which we have yet to have. O'Shaughnessy lined up in 31 snaps out wide.
Okay.
So I'm assuming through watching the film is we would have like a bunch set to the left or to the right of 3 receivers, and then we would isolate a tight end out wide. The ability to do that gives your offense an advantage, and it's something that John DeFilippo likes to do. And we were only able to do that 31 times last year with James O'Shaughnessy.
Yeah.
I think Oliver will give you that.
Do injuries change that, though? I know. What did Safarian Jenkins get hurt week 2, week 1, something like that?
Yeah, that's true. And we expected
We didn't talk about that earlier. We talked about injuries and it was offensive line week 2.
Safarian Jenkins,
Niles Paul and Safarian Jenkins were decimated by what? Week 1, they were both on the IR?
Okay, but to be fair, Niles Paul has been hurt his entire career.
That's true.
He's never been healthy. Safarian Jenkins wasn't healthy and then got on with the Patriots and then was cut
still
immediately.
Adds on to that entire offense was
I agree.
By week 2.
I agree.
That's crazy.
I agree. But
Insane.
But I think Oliver's going to give us that out wide ability to get mismatches on DBs or nickel DBs or linebackers to really make plays out there in space, which we've lacked. We've never had a move tight end in the history of the Jags. We talked about Kyle Brady. Is he? Mercedes Lewis.
Never.
And that's it. So
looking at Josh Oliver's measurables, one of my favorite websites. I'm sure it's one of your favorites as well as Mock Draftable, the Spiderwebs.
I love it. Love the Spiderwebs.
It's fantastic.
You can call me Spider-Man.
2 of his comparisons for Josh Oliver or Ben Koyak and O'Shaughnessy. So clearly the Jaguars have a certain type.
Please tell me that's not true.
It is true.
It's
It is true.
It is too.
It is true. Him and Ben Koyak, their measurements were 79.3%.
I don't think that helps
Yeah.
his case, though, to
Well,
be honest with you.
know.
But maybe.
Yeah.
All right, so
Ben Koyak, his athleticism, and O'Shaughnessy athleticism, that's never been their faults. It's been other parts of their game. So
yeah, okay. All right, I mean, I'm excited for Oliver. I think will be good, especially in like
did
2 or 3
you ever
years.
hear of? Did you know who Jason or
I know.
Did you know who Kelsey was before
I
he got
know.
drafted?
Tight ends don't come from big schools. I know that.
I knew about
I-
Ertz relative. I mean,
I know where you're going with that.
Exactly.
You're right. But tight ends are a dime. I mean,
they're
you
the
never
most
know.
random position.
They are.
They are.
They are.
It's crazy how
They
they
are.
work. Yeah.
All right, so we have to at least mention these last 2 tight ends. And we're going to get to these YouTube questions that we have here after this. Charles Jones, Tulane tight end. This guy legit is what you want out of a prospect. 6'4", 255. That's big.
Yep.
Out of Tulane, 40 receptions, 268 yards, and 5 touchdowns. Okay, what does Charles Jones have to do to make this roster? What does Charles Jones have to do to beat out Ben Koyak for a spot?
Stay healthy. Show you can block and don't drop passes that should be catchable. Pretty much
Would
every
it-
player what they need to do.
would it help-
Stay healthy is pretty much the main goal, and then
Would it help if I told you that he went to the same high school as Leonard Fournette and is the cousin of Jacoby Jones?
to make the roster or to have a shot. I mean, you got him a training camp spot.
That's true.
Yeah.
Is that about all it buys you?
I mean, you never know.
I think that's
And it
about
depends
all
what you
it
show. And
buys
you got to catch the ball. You got to stay healthy. Watch Hard Knocks. How many players just couldn't stay healthy? That's one of the
That's true, man.
every game. You were the first person that told me this. Every single game, stay healthy. Was that not what
Yeah.
every player says to one
Yeah.
another? So yeah.
Yep.
And just don't drop the ball. So
All right, and then the last tight end on the roster, Michael Kalu-Biali, and I could be butchering that last name.
UCF boy, right?
UCF guy, and our UCF fans didn't rally on that tweet.
With no Zach Adele.
Here's the most telling thing about a player, and this is going to be maybe sad, and I really don't like this is the way that life is going. But I create highlights, and I create cut-ups, and I analyze every single player the Jags have on their roster. Even these guys that we are projecting to probably get cut. Am I wrong?
Yeah, probably.
I can almost tell how good a player is by the support he gets from his fan base and his teammates. Like legit, like I'm not even kidding you. Like I've been doing this long
Tell
enough.
me how many players went to his birthday. Are we going draft day?
Honestly, like if you're a really good player, you're gonna have a lot of guys at your birthday.
I mean, is that true though? I mean,
Yes,
Do you think Percy Harvin? I mean, I know they respected his ability.
How long did
Do you
Percy
think he was
Harvin stick
well-liked?
around?
Not long.
Not long. I mean, he was a great player, but he didn't stick around. So if we're
But I
talking
thought
about,
teammates liked him though. Some players liked him.
I can't speak to that. Teammates loved
Pounce,
Tebow,
I guess
But I'm
Pouncey's
so-
wore Free Hernandez too, right? It's hard to say.
but I'm just saying, like I've noticed guys will rally around good guys, and this guy did not have a lot of support from the UCF community. And here's where I'm going with this, because you brought up guys.
There's a lot of dumb football fans. but
You brought
continue.
up guys that were like at huge universities. I've noticed players from UCF that are good can rally the fans, and he didn't.
There's a lot of players on the. I mean,
He didn't. So he's
tight ends. I mean, there's a lot of positions. Offensive line doesn't shine. Tight end at certain times doesn't shine. Dirty work.
that's true. He's 6'1", 223.
And it doesn't have the size. That's. I mean, maybe
He-
that's one of the, we don't have a fullback. Maybe he can come in and compete as an H back.
21 passes, caught 278 yards total, 3 touchdowns. I'm just not. I like this guy. He was a walk-on running back. His dad was a walk-on running back.
Yep.
Um,
It's crazy. We could be talking about Hawkinson right now. Just one simple pick by the Raiders, and we're talking about Hawkinson.
we haven't gotten to our D line yet, where we're going
I
to
know,
talk
I'm just saying.
extensively about Josh
It's
Allen.
crazy. Hawkinson. Him and Foles would be pretty nasty.
Do you think the tight end position is overvalued?
No, not at all. You've seen the offense. You've seen what the Patriots have done with it. The Eagles have done with it. They won a Super Bowl because of it. I feel like the elite. Is there an elite team that does not have one?
The Rams.
Okay, they just scored 3
The
points.
Saints.
Saints. Okay, fair enough as well. Got me 2 in a row.
The who was in the AFC Championship game? The Patriots and the
Patriots and the Chiefs. So Kelsey.
That doesn't count. Yeah, but I mean, it's about how many elite tight ends are there? And this is what I'll give you. Name. Okay.
What about
Listen. Name me an elite tight end outside of these three. Kelsey, Ertz, Kittle. Elite.
elite? Am I allowed to look?
I'll help you.
Ertz. Ertz is
I
one.
just said Ertz,
Okay, I'm sorry.
Kittle, and
Even dumber by me.
no. I'll give you a hint. Here's the next tier: OJ Howard,
Very good.
Hunter Henry,
Can't
coming
stay-
off an
can't stay
ACL, but we
healthy.
think
Yeah.
will be elite. We have guys like
Can I look real quick?
sure, absolutely. I'll tell you right now, OJ Howard, and then you have really
PFF tight end grades real quick.
yeah. Pull it up for us because
There's 3. I feel like you're right in the.
Jared Cook had an outlier year last year. Am I
Okay,
right?
So Kittle, Kelsey, Ertz. Those are all really good. Okay, so Evan Ingram's pretty good. I mean,
Evan Ingram.
yeah,
Like
there's a good group of like solid
three.
ones.
There's 3 good tight
Yeah,
ends,
you're
man. You
right,
can say
okay.
whatever you want
You're
about
right,
it.
You're right. You're right.
And that's
you're
the
right.
thing, dude. Like all these teams are like, are you trying to reach? Like, think about how many good wide receivers.
What about
you
even
are.
having a solid one? We don't even have a solid one.
But do you draft the tight end in the first round, reaching for a solid tight end?
I mean, I
Like
feel
that's why for so
for
long.
what it's worth, the only reason we were even okay with the Hawkinson pick is because we knew Foles was coming in and we knew we liked that. Any other year, we probably hell no. Shucks no. I'm
That's
sorry.
fair. That's fair. I appreciate you censoring
Yeah.
yourself.
So,
All right, let's move on.
I mean, I feel
Let's
like
move
OJ
on.
Howard. We were like, not that we were okay with it. We're like, okay, OJ Howard, him or Fournette. I mean,
I would say the tight end position is overvalued.
I don't think it is, man. There's a lot of good, average to solid to what we do not have. Kyle Brady is the best tight end we've ever had. I feel like
I would disagree. Mercedes Lewis is the
he was
best tight end
good,
we've ever had.
and right now, what would he be? An average? He would probably be a top 15 to top 20. There's a lot of good tight ends out there.
I just
man.
don't think tight ends, unless you're like legit, unless
Some
you're
are
the
injured
elite
and old.
3.
Kittle.
Gronkowski.
Okay,
Yeah.
OJ Howard, solid. Jared Cook, good when healthy. Delaney Walker.
Jared
good
Cook
when
was like
healthy.
not good for a
Delaney
long.
Walker, good when healthy.
Delaney Walker hasn't been good in like 2 years.
Okay, because he's getting old and injured.
Yes.
Evan Ingram, young, pretty good. Jordan Reed,
Injured.
if he could stay healthy.
Injured.
Injuries, so
Yeah.
just don't play football is apparently what I'm hearing. Eric Ebron was pretty good last year. Thank you for that, Siri.
Okay.
Anyhow,
Let's get to our YouTube questions, then we have to wrap this up because this is turning
MLB The
into
Show's waiting for us
a.
as well.
Can you imagine? Like, I just want to take a second. This is a tight end. We were supposed to talk about tight end kickers and punters. We did not get to the kickers and punters at all. Hey, it's what we do. We, as you can tell, we put a lot of time into breaking down these positions because we are nerds and we have nothing else to do. We are going to hit these last 2 YouTube questions, and we apologize on Twitter for not putting out a thread for questions. This was kind of an impromptu show, but we're glad we did it for sure. Brent Papineau says, any word on the dog park?
What dog park?
Any word on the dog park for 2019?
Oh God, with your favorite seats.
Since we are the Jaguars, would a cat park have been a better addition? What other cool out-of-the-box addition to the bank would you like to see added?
That's a very good question.
That is a really good question.
Not a cat box. I can tell you that one.
All right, so let me just tell you a little secret. You can catch me every single game in the Sky Patio Terrace,
It's literally my least favorite thing about you.
and that is next to the dog park. Dude, I have this weird thing where I have to be able to see the D line and the O line. Like, it's called the coach's cam. It's called like the coach's like film.
Nice humble brag.
You have to be able to
Jesus.
see where they go. I cannot watch the game from like the side. Like
It's the
I have
most-
to be able to see the O line and the D line.
It's so white trash.
move.
I can't handle it.
Okay.
And now there's dogs barking.
Okay.
It's my least favorite seat.
So you
stadium.
can get in for pretty cheap to that. Excuse me, or the mic. You can get in pretty cheap to that spot. Like you can get a standing room only ticket to that spot, and then so that was like one knock against the spot. I was willing to deal with that. Now like there's
A dog
dogs
park.
barking in your ear, but I'm still willing to
But
ignore that.
There's 2 pluses. There's a good bathroom situation, and there's a.
So here's a secret. Like if you're listening to third segment, this is a tip for you. First of all, when the games are really hot in September and October, it is shaded the entire game. Okay? And you can stand on the railing. You will see me standing on the railing with the best seat in the house every game. The second thing is there is a bathroom that is literally 20 yards away with never a line.
And family bathroom and
family bathroom, everything.
Concession stand.
Third thing, there's a concession stand that serves adult beverages, again, 10 yards from you.
Yeah.
Fourth thing, it is the cheapest seat in the house.
Yeah.
Now,
unfortunately, there's dogs barking, and you can get stabbed in any moment. But besides that,
I really enjoy that spot. I'm there every game. I wear my, I'm very superstitious at Jags games, and I wear my Jalen Ramsey jersey.
Yeah.
So you'll see me in my Jalen Ramsey white jersey.
Jersey tee.
Come, it's not a jersey tee. Come say hello. I'm gonna be there, and I'm gonna be cheering it louder than anybody there. My favorite seat in the house. I understand.
We might be sitting there for the Florida State game as well.
We'll be there at Florida State game. Legit, that's my favorite spot.
Yeah.
So, dog park.
What's the addition? You never answered that part. What would you add?
ShotCon teased, like they talked about at Wembley, the drone shades. Where there's drones with shade.
Okay, Joey.
That would save a lot of people because it gets hot in those games. Let's
do what the Suns did.
We bought tickets to the Jags Titans game last year.
Yeah.
We splurged.
Yeah.
And we sat 4 rows from the field.
Yeah.
We were miserable because it was so hot.
It was one of the hottest games ever. It was probably hot. I think it was hotter than the Patriots game. It was pretty hot.
It was hot. And we ended up going to the Sky Patio to get some shade.
You did. I stuck it out because I'm not a wimp. Anyways, it was very hot. Yeah. And we lost.
So maybe a retractable dome is my addition to.
I think that what the Miami Dolphins have would be sick.
What is that? You gotta fill us in because I don't even know.
The Sun Life Stadium, it just has some type of sun blocking protection. I'm not sure. I'm not.
Oh, sunscreen! They give you sunscreen behind every seat.
They have some very nice sun protection. Is all.
Okay. I don't know what that means.
Wow,
okay,
thanks, guys.
All right, let's move on. This is the last question. We gotta close up. We're going. We're gonna have to put another ad in if we keep going any longer.
That was horrible.
All right, this is from Stephen Gray, and he says, with the current linebacker situation, is there any chance that Paul Posluszny could make a surprise return and help out? Or is that wishful thinking?
I take him, but
and if so, would it be a good thing or bad?
Of course, it'd be a good thing. Yeah, I'd take him absolutely. Yeah, it won't happen, but I wish.
Won't happen. I wish it would.
Because if he did, then I think Tillman comes back because he loves Paul Posluszny.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Does anyone not like Paul Posluszny?
Buffalo fans that are butthurt? I don't know. Maybe.
That's true, man.
Yeah.
Buffalo fans have a lot of reasons to hate us.
I love Posluszny. He's awesome.
Oh, man. He's one of my favorite Jags of all time.
Is he the one good thing that Gene Smith did? I can't think of another.
Man, I'm racking my brain rapidly right now.
Maybe someone with Darryl Smith.
All right, that's gonna obviously that's it for us.
Yeah, we're scraping the bottom of the barrel at this point.
I would take Posluszny, and
he's a beast, and I would absolutely.
I don't think we tried to make a little push to bring him back last season, and it didn't work. We tried to hashtag bring back Puz. The man seems content.
Yeah.
He told the media that he wanted to spend time with his family.
Yeah,
that's like the one thing that you don't want to convince people out of doing. Like.
You know what I love though? I love hearing that he bought a house here and lives here now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, because he's Pennsylvania through and through. So if you can convince that man to live here, obviously something's not horrible.
You find a lot of Jags end up living here.
Kyle Brady, another Penn State.
All of them, dude. Yeah. Like literally, it's hard to find Jags that moved back.
I mean, I've heard of people running into Mike Mularkey. He hasn't been here in 10 years and he still lives here. Yeah, it's awesome to hear.
Yeah, I love seeing Doug Marone at Whiskey Jack's with 3 entrees and a Bud Light.
Yeah.
I love it, dude.
And no ham sandwich or bologna?
Bologna, no. He's at Whiskey Jack's.
Yeah.
They're not even a sponsor.
Wow.
That's going to wrap it up for another Jags podcast. This is segment 3, a little more rocky than the other first 2 segments. We appreciate you guys listening. You can find us on Twitter at Another Jags Pod. I encourage you to follow us on Twitter. I'm a Twitter fiend. Mike's a Twitter feed. We're on that junk all the time. I cut up game film of players literally all the time. It's literally all I do.
It's addictive. I really do.
It really is. And I'm on that junk all the time. So make sure you follow it. We have surpassed over 1,000 followers. And because it's good stuff. Good content. Facebook, Instagram. I just took over the Instagram, so I'm trying to like make that better. But I'm not good at the picture stuff. But I'm working on it.
Are we gonna do cutout? Preseason starts in like 3 weeks. Are we gonna do cut-ups of preseason games?
Absolutely. I mean, I'll be at every home game, week 2 and 4, and I'll be cutting up week 1 and 3 and all
Game
that.
Rewind is the greatest thing of all time in PFF.
So make sure you follow us on those things. YouTube, we're making a push on YouTube because that's where we want to be seen and also heard. And so make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Spread the word if you have other Jags fans. We go real in depth about the Jags. We do long shows. So if you're driving to work, you can listen to us for multiple nights. Thank you so much to all our YouTube questions. Thank you so much to all the Twitter questions. And we're going to be back next week. I think we're going to do D-line. So make sure you check out our D-line episode. Thank you again to all of our sponsors. Thank you to all of our listeners.
One thing, if any fan is going to the Denver game, you should let the podcast know because I think we're planning on going.
We are going to the Denver game for sure. So make sure you hit us up. We will be there in Denver.
Mile High. That's awesome.
And it's going to be a good time. So make sure you hit us up on that. We can since we're teasing things here.
Sorry. I know it's a little far out, but I'm
it
very
is.
excited.
But some teasing. We're also doing another Jags Pod Fantasy League. We're just going to be free for you guys to join. We're going to take like 12 of the fans that have sent the most questions in, and it's going to be free for you to join. We're going to have all kind of prizes week to week and into the season. So be looking out for the fantasy league that we have.
Will you be the Andre of our league?
I'll be the taco. I'll be the taco of the league.
Taco. I like that.
All right. Thank you guys. And as always, go Jags.